Guys, when 8 bullets tore through my face and arm, I had 30 seconds to make a choice, to live or die. Here's the exact mindset that I applied to survive that night and thrive driving forward in my life. Let's go back to that night. Shot 8 times, pinned down on the battlefield. Literally, bullets are traveling 8 inches above me while my teammate is shooting back at the enemy, and multiple machine guns and what we estimate to be 12 more enemy shooters are shooting back at my teammates. I'm pinned down in the middle. I tell you what, guys, I would have given anything to be out of that situation. I'm bleeding out. I've been shot multiple times, and I knew that we had been trained in special operations that the guys can't run out and just get you. You know, hey, help, you got to come save me. It doesn't work that way. Throughout history, we have learned in warfare that, enemies will intentionally wound individuals to pin them down so that they can try and lure their buddies out to shoot them and create more casualties. In the SEAL teams, we had been taught, you have to win the fight. You have to win the fight first, period. Meaning a teammate may actually bleed out and die before you can get him, but we can't sacrifice more people. The mission in the team is more important, and that's a hard reality to face. But guess what, guys? I knew it. In those 30 seconds that I was wounded, where I came to grips with the fact that I am pinned down, I am shot up, I could die here, I have to trust my teammates to win the fight. And there's an interesting thing that starts to occur when you're facing death, and you have to accept, one, a little bit of tactical patience and real world patience. You can lay there and feel sorry for yourself. I could have started crying and being like, oh, this sucks. Or I could focus on, so often in emergency situations in life, the overcome mindset is a mindset of, what can I control? So often when we're overwhelmed and we're hit by the bullets and bombs of life, there are 4 thoughts that tend to run through every single person's mind. Number 1, in the moment of overwhelming bullets and bombs of life, there's no hope. You know, it would have been easy for me to be like, oh my God, I'm totally pinned down. No one can come get me and I'm going to bleed out and die. There's no hope. Number 2, there's nothing I can do. That's another thought that people have in the midst of catastrophic, traumatic scenarios. There's nothing I can do. Number 3, it's totally outside of my control. There's nothing I can control in this moment. And then the 4th one is, this isn't fair. You know, give me a break. Bad things happen to good people all the time. I was well aware, and we'll talk about this in a second, that I could get shot in a gunfight. I worked in a job where I got into gunfights. I mean, guess what? People get shot. So I wasn't ignorant to that fact. In that moment, though, I had to push aside all those thoughts. There's no hope. There's nothing I can do. It's out of my control. It's not fair. None of those things mattered in that moment. What I had to focus on is, what are the things that I can create impact and action on? I couldn't fight back. Guys, there were bullets traveling 8 inches above me. Not only that, I had lost a lot of blood. I was super weak. So, one, hope is not some magic elixir you find. You know, it's not like, hey guys, throw me a hope grenade. Those don't exist. This isn't Call of Duty or video games or anything like that. It's the real world. Hope isn't an elixir you go buy at Walmart or Target and you carry in your bag. Hope is driven from within the individual. All hope is an understanding, a belief, and a conviction that we can drive forward out of this situation. It doesn't mean you'll get back what is lost. It doesn't mean you'll fix what is broken. What it means is, I'm going to relentlessly find a path out of this. That was number 1. Number 2, there's nothing I can do. Well, I could focus on staying alive. That is what I began to focus on. Control, everything's out of my control. Well, what could I control? I could control my mindset. I can control my emotions. I can control staying calm. And this whole idea that it's not fair, that's the most crazy insanity there is. I mean, I always love when I meet people out in public who are like, oh, we're really sorry about your accident. Accident? They shot me on purpose, motherfucker. Yeah, it was no accident. I mean, good on them. They got me. I always laugh. I got the smallest head in the SEAL teams, and, probably the best sniper in all of Al-Qaeda managed to hit me. So kudos to him, man. He got me. And, I shouldn't have allowed that to happen, but I'm sure not going to lay there and whine and cry because I got shot. I need to focus on staying alive. And guys, that is the overcome mindset. That is the quintessential thing. I pray that none of you ever get shot. I don't recommend learning this by getting shot in the face. Definitely not the path to go. But The SEAL teams taught me the overcome mindset, and it is what I have used in every aspect of my life, guys. The overcome mindset is built on three critical things. Number one, awareness. I mean, like I said, I was well aware of the fact that I could get shot. As a matter of fact, funny story, only a couple weeks prior to being shot, we had a mission get canceled. And we like to play poker on nights that we didn't work. We like to play poker. And I like to give my money away because the guys, you know, I mean, I was a leader and that's the kind of guy I was. The guys will tell you that I suck at poker, but that's just not true. I'm just a giver. So anyways, we're sitting around playing poker and the topic came up. If you were going to be shot, where would you want to be shot? And I know most of us all were like lower leg injury would, you know, because if you got one of those high-speed prosthetic legs, it would be really cool. You're like $6 million man. And I remember thinking, like, I don't want to be shot in the arms. You know, I'm like a smaller dude, so you know, I don't want to be shot in the arms. Not a single one of us was like, yeah, I definitely don't want to be shot in the face. That being said, the conversation was built around the fact that we are well aware. We work in a dangerous job where we sling lead, pew pew, at enemy fighters who like to sling lead, pew pew, back at us. We had teammates killed. We had teammates shot, you know, and I think unfortunately in this life, you know, there's only a matter of time on the battlefield. Everybody's time will eventually run up. So hopefully you manage to get out of the game before that time comes. I did not. I got on the receiving end of that machine gun, and when I was laying there on that battlefield, I was well aware that I could get shot. Number two, preparation. Guys, applying this to your own life, awareness of anything that could happen. You know, I use the overcome mindset framework for anything in this life. I am aware that bad things can happen to good people. I am aware that the things that I want, my hopes, goals, and dreams can get thrown off course. You can have the most perfect plan in the world. It can still go wrong. Awareness is our ability to understand that. Number two is preparation. We had prepared throughout all of our training and throughout my entire career what to do when we get shot. How do we win? I had to trust my teammates to win the fight, which they did an amazing job. Much love, fellas. I love you. Thank you for fighting back and saving me. And we had trained to use all kinds of different assets to save ourselves. In this case, it was an Air Force AC-130 gunship. 4th SOS, much love, closest fire mission in the entire Iraq war. I knew and was prepared for these things to happen. And thankfully they did. They happened in that manner. I was also prepared to understand that I had to do the things to save myself. And in this case, I was focused on staying awake to staying alive. Guys, the third component of the overcome mindset is action. You must take action. In this case, it was a relentless focus on staying awake to stay alive so that I could live long enough for that medevac helicopter to come in. I could live long enough for that first fire mission to occur where my team leader ran forward, managed to get me back, get a tourniquet on my arm, pack my face, and they were able to medevac us where I was able to make it to that surgical center in Baghdad under that golden hour, and they saved my life. Not all of you are going to experience combat, guys, but all of you are going to experience the bullets and bombs of life. If you want to prepare yourself for this life, if you want to be a victor and not a victim, you need to overcome those thoughts when things go wrong. Oh, there's no hope. There's nothing I can do. It's out of my control. This isn't fair. Yeah, guess what? Welcome to being human. Like, erase those things. There's always hope. There's always something you can do. You have the ability to control, even if all you have is your ability. The only thing you have to control is yourself and your mindset and projecting positivity. Guys, that is what an overcome mindset will do. Awareness that things can go wrong, preparation. If sometimes it's only merely mental preparation, guess what? At least you are mentally prepared and ready for that moment when it comes, and it enables you to take action. The reason why people freeze when things go wrong in their life is because they weren't expecting it. They weren't aware, they had not prepared, and when we have violent, traumatic things occur or just the world crumbles around us, if you don't have the awareness and prep time prior, we freeze. And when people freeze, oftentimes they die. That is the whole point of an enemy ambush. We want to lock you down with so much overwhelming firepower that you're unable to function, and you freeze, and you will wither and die, and you will bleed out. In life, guys, it's no different. You may not bleed out physically, but I've watched way too many people in life ambushes who bleed out emotionally, who bleed out mentally, who bleed out socially, spiritually, or even financially. So guys, you want to build a relentless overcome mindset, have them follow those 3 principles. Number 1, awareness. Guess what? All of our hopes and dreams, every plan you have, anything you can think of, you should be aware of it. Don't live your head like an ostrich. You don't just poke your head in the sand and pretend it won't happen. That's how most people live their lives. And then they're not prepared and they can't take action. Be aware. Have a plan. Even if that plan is merely mental, like, hey, I am aware this can happen. I'm at least prepared, and this is what I'm going to do if it does. Now you are ready to do it. You're ready to take that action. You are ready to soar. That is an overcome mindset, and that is the 30 seconds that saved my life on that battlefield.